Hello and welcome back to Every Problem. This is Stewart Calculus 8th edition, section 1.4, problem number 3. Now, really quickly, before I forget, I just want to write down a certain property that we're going to use. We're going to use, if you have the book with you, it'll be Laws of Exponents, property number 4. And this is going to come in handy for part B, so let me just write that down really quick. It's ab to the x is equal to a to the x, b to the x, where a and b are different numbers. They could be maybe 5 and 6 or anything. It's just that if you have two bases that are multiplied by each other to the x power, it's equivalent to each of those bases to the x power, and then you multiply them together. So anyways, that'll be for part B. Let's get started with part A. So part A, we have b to the 8th times 2b to the 4th. Oh, and that's exactly the mistake. That's exactly the mistake that I had talked about in a previous video. We have to be very careful when we have full, more than just one simple number or letter to a 4th power or 3rd power, or just any power in general. So this 4 applies to b and to 2. So that's going to be b to the 8th times, 2 to the 4th and b to the 4th. So then we have, 2 to the 4th is, 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 is 4, and 16. Okay. So 2 to the 4th is 16. We have b to the 4th times b to the 8th. I just switched those two. I hope that's okay. All I did was switch the order. Okay. Now when we are multiplying, we have 16b to the 4th times b to the 8th. That's the same thing. It looks like using law of exponent number 1. That's the same as saying b to the 4 plus 8, which equals 16b to the 12th. Okay. That's our answer for number 1. For number 2, okay, so let's remember this law here that I had marked. We have 16y cubed, not 16, what am I doing? Okay, we have 6, it's because I was reading that parenthesis there, and I thought it was a 16, the parenthesis, I thought it was a 1. So anyways, we have 6y cubed to the 4th, all over 2y to the 5th. Okay, so again, this 4, this distributes to both of these, right? Now if we have y to the 3rd to the 4th, that's going to be y to the 3 times 4, because it's not y to the 3rd times y to the 4th. That's not the case. It's y to the 3rd to the 4th power. So in that case, we multiply the exponents. Okay, so that will give us y to the 12th. Now we have 6 to the 4th as well, right? So we'll just leave that for now. And this is all over 2y to the 5th. So let's just rearrange this. Let's make it look a little nicer. 6 to the 4th times y to the 12th, all over 2y to the 5th. Okay, well, first off, let's just go ahead and simplify our y's. So we have y to the 12th divided by y to the 5th. That's equal to y to the 12th minus 5. Okay, so that's equal to y to the 7th. So now we have 6 to the 4th, y to the 7th, all over 2. Okay, now if you are allowed to use calculators, you could just calculate 6 to the 4th and call it a day and divide it by 2, right? The hard thing is 6 to the 4th is equivalent to 36 squared, and I can't quite do that one in my head. So instead, we can actually use one of these exponent laws, right? The ab to the x equals a to the x, b to the x. Well, 6 to the 4th, well, we know that 6 is comprised of 2 and 3. So really, we have 2 to the 4th times 3 to the 4th times y to the 7th all over 2. So now we have the 2 that cancels with this 2 to the 4th here, and that gives us 2 to the 3rd. And now this gives us something more manageable to work with. So now we have 2 to the 3rd times 3 to the 4th times y to the 7th. And even though these are still somewhat large numbers, they're much more manageable. So 2 to the 3rd is 2 times 2 times 2. So that's 8. 3 to the 4th, well, if we have 3 times 3 times 3 times 3, that gives us 9 times 9, which gives us 81 times y to the 7th. Okay, so we have 8 times 81 times y to the 7th, and that in turn gets us, let's see, 648, I believe. 648 y to the 7th, and that's the final answer. Sorry if you could hear some of the banging just then. I think people are, I don't know what people are doing, but yeah. Let me just double check to make sure I did my math right with that, with 8 times 81. And let's see. Yep, 648 y to the 7th. So there you have it. I hope that helps.